What's going on, guys? Well, Iniquity's away on vacation. I'm going to be your host. Paper, cut to you. That's who I am. If you haven't heard of me, I kind of do a little bit of Destiny. I did some Battlefield. Now I do a lot of Titanfall. And what I'm going to be doing is pretty much running you through exactly how I would run a regular episode. This is an opener with grenades. I've covered that before. So we started exploring things about game mechanics, game theory, a lot of decision making, and then we kind of tie it all together. So what I like to do in my videos is show you guys a lot of examples. From here on, you're going to notice that everything revolves around grenades. There's going to be some shorter clips, and then I like to use some extended clips just to give you a better feel of the flow of the game when you're using a certain ordnance or weapon. And that's pretty much the format that I take on my really serious videos. But I think at this time I'm actually looking to branch out. I think the song was kind of part of that. I'm trying to do things that are more creative. I've done other parody videos in the past, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to start littering my channel with, some serious and some fun. And the reason I wanted to revisit this is the second video I've done on frag grenades is because there was a change to arc grenades. Like, that stock is way down. Just throw that away. It won't take you long. You only have one charge now. Grenades, however, come in pairs. And with a little bit of foresight, you can get a lot out of these. And right now in this example, you're going to see that I have a blue line. That's if you put on the ordnance kit. It makes it so your grenades recharge slightly faster. I already find that the recharge time on them is perfect. I find that if you have more, you're just forcing them. If you look on the bottom left, you can see the grenade recharging right now, and it's pretty fast. I think you can invest your kit in something else. But it is nice training wheels if you want to just see the general direction of grenades, but I think you should get out of that habit because it gives you this false sense of where the grenade is going to blow up because it doesn't take into account the cook time. But I do want to say that I have used the ordnance kit at times because I want the extra grenades for practice purposes. And if you're somebody that wants to just practice with them, then put on the kit. Just try to ignore the blue line, especially when you're cooking it, because again, it doesn't tell you where it's going to go. You don't need it to line up your shots because the cursor already does that for you. The aimer in the center, that's already taking care of where you need to aim it. That's why you don't really need to see where people are. You can look into the sky. You can even actually hear it in order to aim your grenades. And since the blast radius is pretty generous, you can get away with just throwing the grenade close to people and you're still going to get a kill. Like a lot of you, I played this map a lot, and I'm able to consistently land grenades in the exact same spot. This grenade here isn't meant to kill him, just to distract him. I'm going to throw this one to be lethal. And that's a common spawn point or a high traffic area where people usually are. I'm going to throw that exact same grenade after I'm done killing this guy. Now let me tell you about the grenade. If you want more control of the grenade, you just hold on to it longer. It's easier to throw the grenade closer to you. That just makes sense, right? Because if they're closer to you, it means that there's less room for error for where they can move. The further they are, that means that they're able to dodge you. If they see you throwing the grenade, then all they have to do is sidestep it while they are seeing you throw it. But most people aren't going to see you. Right now, that grenade was based off of sound. Again, the blast radius is great. You're going to see me just kill guys with grenades here. And this was one of those kind of practice rounds where I'm really pushing the limits. And that's what I try to show people when you're trying to improve with a weapon. Push the limits, die a lot. That's what shows you what's possible and what's not. That's why the more you run into more engagements, getting into more scenarios, that's when you're going to know what you need to do. Like right now, he was slightly out of the kill radius. I'm going to just weaken him a little bit so he dies. And those are things that you're not always going to do in a practical sense in a game. But I want to show people, like in the episode that I did where I talked about playing to improve versus playing to win. That scenario is more so about me being able to recognize where the kill radius is of a grenade. It's just the little things that you learn when you get yourself into different situations. Like I've been trying to figure out how far can I get the grenade, like when they're so far you don't have any cook time. Those are the kind of things that you familiarize yourself as you use a tool longer and try to push those limits. And anytime I can get away with throwing a grenade at somebody to start an engagement, I always take it because then it means I get to save on some bullets. You don't even want to talk to me about phase shift, but it is unreal good and it lets you do these kind of suicide grenades. But back to throwing grenades, there's a few ways to throw them. Usually these days I try to just land them pretty much right on people. I want the cook time to pretty much blow up in front of them so they don't have too much time to react. You can also though bank them off of objects to give them a little bit more time to cook, or if there's a backboard, it makes it so you don't have to be as accurate throwing at somebody. If they're in a room, well, it's a lot easier to kill somebody as well. The blast radius is big enough that it can clear most small rooms or at least half of a big room. And the beauty of grenades is that they do take some of the momentum that you have. So if you want to throw it a little bit higher, it doesn't hurt to jump or have some speed in the direction that you're going to throw them because it does affect how far a grenade goes. And it also helps stop campers. You can huck these into the general direction of the last place you got killed. And even if you don't kill them, the hit marker will at least give you the opportunity to know that they're still there, because the blast radius, again, is generous. So it covers enough of a distance that you at least know if you hit something, and then you can go finish them off. So grenades are seriously my #1 pick. And when Marked for Death falls, whenever that happens, grenades, stock. Buy more grenades, because they're going to be unreal good. In Titanfall 1, when they started showing me a cursor on somebody, I could just huck grenades at them all day. And I am looking forward to doing that again. You know what, that's actually a lie, because they didn't regenerate before, but now that they do, it just makes them so much better. I also want to say that a lot about the grenades has to do that I play a lot of PvP. When I'm playing attrition or something with Titans, I will switch off when there's more Titans into a Firestar. Alright, Sizzling Sean decided to sacrifice himself to the grenade gods. He's like, bless me with that killer aim. But there's really nothing magical about it. It's all about learning how to cook the grenade. Like, don't piss off Gordon Ramsay. You can send out things that are raw. Very little exceptions to that rule. If you want to do some area of denial, you can throw one at the ground. It makes people think twice because they see the icon. But for the most part, you want to start cooking the grenade. And I'm serious, the longer you're holding the grenade, the more control you have. The radius around you gets smaller, and you just have to throw it at people. It's really easy. I don't think we need to make this hard. You just have to learn how to cook it. You're literally just throwing a rock at somebody. General direction, throw, forget. Easy peasy. The Gravity Star grenade combo, really cool. Somebody actually caught me with that on live fire with his buddy. They kept running through the bottom and they caught me the third time around. They tricked me good. You know, there's a lot of things, a lot of synergy between using certain weapons if you're playing with the team, but grenades on their own, still amazing. Learn to cook them, use them as area of denial, use them to just find out if somebody's in a general direction by getting some hit markers. It kills AWOLs. It's super easy to just throw it. Well, I guess it's not super easy, but with a little bit of practice, I believe that you can start throwing it beside AWOLs or over top of AWOLs. I just start throwing it over top. If you want to be safe, throw it over top, but also slightly off to the side. It just guarantees that if you happen to hit the AWOL, if your aim was off, it was off to the side as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say, better safe than sorry, throw it off to the side, but still throw it slightly high. This guy's trying to grenade me. I don't know why. No one grenades me. I am the grenade king. No one actually calls me that, but self-proclaimed right here. And I've had a lot of people go up against me because once they get killed by a grenade about 5 times, they're starting to question what's going on. And usually I love it when people try to get revenge on me with grenades. It just makes for a hilarious time. But you can see a clear animation when somebody's cooking a grenade, so it gives you an idea of how you should be dodging it. If you don't see them cook it well, then you're pretty fucked, let me tell you. Because if somebody's throwing a perfectly cooked grenade at your face, even Phase Shift has a hard time countering it. And we're just at the end of the video. I'm going to wrap up by throwing a grenade at this guy's foot, uncooked. This was just to kind of just question his positioning, and then I was already ready to cook a next one and then throw it at him. And the beauty of cooking grenades is that it lets you not have to focus on aiming at all. You're more so focused on your mobility, so I'm more focused on strafing or keeping my mobility up as I'm cooking the grenade. And I'm using Phase Shift here, and I'm just like, ugh. But I was focusing on some suicide kills with the grenades, which is something that you can only do with this ability. You can grab it and practically throw it at your own face, and you can live. Really cool, really cheap. I almost went a whole episode without saying anything about Phase Shift, so yay me. But I wanted to give you guys a good sense of really how I do things, and I just call things the way that I see them. I'm always willing to reassess balance issues as well. I've always been somebody that thinks balance is really important in game. I don't think you should just shrug things off and be like, that's the way the game is, adapt. The arc grenade change seems to be a pretty positive one. I think it was a little bit too strong because it not only did damage to pilots, it did incredible damage to Titans. So this was a nice little tweak. I'm going to have to explore this probably in another video though. But that brings us to the end of this episode. Iniquity, big thank you to you for giving me this time slot to reach out to some of your viewers. For those of you still here with me, thank you for joining me. I'm Paper, cut to you, and I hope to see you guys next time.